Warning: the following video might contain moments that might be too disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Has anyone heard of the alleged lost Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode from the 1987 cartoon? Its name was called Dawn of Dread. It was one of the early season 2 episodes. It only aired one time at midnight on a local TV station that broadcast the series and was never aired again. There's no official reference to it on any wiki page or news articles, and evidence of its existence is quite scant. But accounts from an old Ninja Turtle fan site / message board seem consistent in their detail. Leonardo wakes up and looks around him before getting out of bed. The picture quality is quite poor, and the animation is amateurish and jittery. There's no background music, and the only sound you can hear is a ticking clock. Leonardo then mutters something to himself, but he spoke in Korean, and the viewers who caught the episode couldn't speak Korean, so it's unknown what he said. Suddenly, a male voice can be heard in the background. True, the voice isn't recognizable, it doesn't seem to belong to any of the show's regular characters. It sounds like a foreign language attempting to speak English. "Are you up yet?" is all it says. It is difficult to tell if Leonardo senses the strange voice or not, but he leaves his room and heads to the living area of the lair. The lair seems empty. Neither Splinter nor the other turtles are anywhere to be found, and the living area is quite messy. He finds a pizza box on the kitchen table, but upon opening it, finds a very old and moldy pizza with hundreds of insect carcasses on it, having eaten themselves to death at this point. Leonardo decides to leave the lair and goes looking for his coat. The picture then fades to black for about 10 seconds, as if for advertisements. Some say a very faint whispering can be heard if the volume is turned up high. The scene then switches back to Leonardo walking through the sewers. The picture quality is now very poor. The backgrounds look rushed in their design, and look like they were drawn with marker and don't loop properly in their repetition. What follows is a scene with Leonardo standing and looking into a sewer stream. He is not moving, and the only animation is the slow movements of the water, with what sounds like a dripping noise playing in the background. After a few seconds, Michelangelo suddenly drifts into frame. He's otherwise motionless. He just seems to be slowly drifting by, face up with his eyes wide open in a vacant stare. His tone is sickly green, and his face is slightly sunken. Leonardo stoically watches Michelangelo's clearly lifeless body drift by before slowly moving on. Leonardo is now walking the streets. It is somewhat dark. There is no one around, and none of the businesses seems to be open, with many seeming abandoned and derelict, with trash and wrappers littered everywhere. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, just running aimlessly as there is nowhere to go. A man dressed in all black walks by him, holding a damaged suitcase, but Leo pays no mind to him and doesn't confront him to ask questions about what's happening. He passes by the Channel 6 building. It is clearly vacant. He decides to rest on a street bench and begins testing his turtlecom. There's no reply to any of his calls, and he angrily thrusts the device on the ground, smashing it. Suddenly, the unidentified male voice iterates, "Are you up yet?" To which Leonardo doesn't seem to respond, instead just sitting and staring at the broken turtlecom. "They're gone," the voice quietly utters, followed by an extremely loud tearing scream. "They're gone! Gone! Gone!" After which Leonardo starts cringing in wild agony, screaming in pain and fiercely punching himself in the head. Loud banging and high-pitched scrapping sounds now fill the scene. Strange moving black shapes forming around Leonardo and circling him. Some appearing to rush towards him in a violent manner before suddenly disappearing. The victim too afraid to look at them. The picture then cuts to black and displays the Korean message for several seconds until it suddenly ends in a station play its usual sign-off message for the night. One of the viewers who still remembered the Korean text that was displayed managed to get it translated years later thanks to internet. Here's what it read. "We are Korean animators enslaved by this studio." So that was Dawn of the Dread, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creepypasta, and my thoughts on it, it's actually pretty good since, this is kind of a film like more derivative from, the typical Lost episode creepypasta since, there's no realistic blood, any type of cliches. It's just more like more of a mystery type of story since, there's didn't say that since, it's actually just kind of remains a mystery of this episode actually exists or not. So there's that, and also the scene with something to do with Michelangelo is kind of creepy. which is kind of which kind of suits the creepypasta's very mysterious vibe. And the ending is quite crazy. Like, since Leonardo is kind of feel defenseless against these shadowy beings. So there's that, and yeah, it's written rather well, and the pacing is actually, it's good for a last episode creepypastas. That's surprisingly better than most last episode creepypastas. So there's that. So overall, it's actually a pretty good creepypasta, for the lost episode creepypasta. So yeah. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and comment this video and subscribe more content. So bye.